Who am I to say you wrong? So burn this bitch down, burn it the fuck up. I look at the rich now, they been yelling fuck us. Fuck them, fuck the system, and fuck you. If your fist ain't up, I can't trust you. If you silent and we yelling, yeah, they crying where I'm dwelling. That's no lying, I ain't willing. I'm so tired, ain't no telling. Rubber slugs to a helmet, city on fire, use a fire, keep the L lit. Shout out to Killer Mike, yeah, kill your masters. Shout out to Meek and Mallory, please hear your sisters. Ain't no fear, my nigga, fight how you can. I'm right here, my nigga, I write cause I am.
We gon' burn this bitch down.
Burn it the fuck up. We
Let the T talk for you.
You see it, you see it. It's a Fan Ran.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Shout to Fan Ran.
Back in the day, joint Gritty City on the side. I'm always get fucked up with side, but yeah, Gritty City on the side.
Shout out to Fan Ran, yo.
What you rocking?
Guy, yo.
What you rocking?
Got the this is the I forgot this is a rap t-shirt. Hold on, you gotta turn around to really see the junk, yo. You see it?
For sure, I can't see the top because you're hunchback in the but yeah. Okay. I'm here.
It's a Method Man got a clothing line for like fitness. So it says Tikal Athletics.
Swear. Okay.
Training is commitment and lifestyle, I think is what it was short for. You know, they'll beat you in the head with a smooth 40 for a t-shirt, but it is
no,
but it is dope.
Shout out to niggas like you that really do be supporting, dog. I don't. But be supporting like because merch really do make hip hop go. You know what I mean? Everybody got tees. You know what I mean? Everybody got something. But
and we gonna and that's the fire ass segue to what we gonna talk about tonight.
We talking about rap.
We talk about rap, but we're not talking about rap tonight. And I'm gonna explain why we're not talking about rap tonight. I wanted to use Cameron as sort of rap in 2025 is in such a funny ass place because of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming took away so much revenue out of hip hop music. That these artists cannot survive with just music, right? And it's been a long time coming that this has been happening. So the economics of hip hop music is why Griselda does so much merch, right? It's why everybody essentially does so much merch, right? Because the merch is something that you own 100% of. Now, granted, of course, there's the 360 deals, which I don't want to turn this into a record deal podcast because I don't know a whole lot about that. But assuming that your deal allows you to own your own merch and your tour revenue and what have you, this new thing called the podcast, hip hop artists seem to have flooded the zone the same way that athletes have, right? So you and me, we could run off a few hip hop podcasts, right? Ourselves notwithstanding, right? Who do we know that has a podcast besides Cam, right? I know Smoke DZA had one, right? Talib Kweli had one, has one still, I assume, right? What other rappers do we know that
Does Joe Budden still consider himself a rapper?
Of course, you know what? Whether he raps or not anymore, the Joe Budden podcast should be at the top. I personally,
I said that Drink Champs should definitely be at the top.
Drink Champs. There you go. I'm a fucking idiot. I was just listening to Drink Champs. Drink Champs, right? And so not only has this discussion that we've had over the last 15 episodes, a lot of it centered around how the hip hop artists of our generation have come back outside and basically reclaimed the art. You know, they've reclaimed the sport now, which I love. But a lot of them have also created this additional revenue source for them with podcasts, you know, and I feel like these dudes are, you know, they just figured out a way to use their brand. Joe and Jadakiss, right? Another one. The Locks have a podcast with the two dudes from It's the Real, right? I feel like all these dudes have figured out a way to get additional revenue in their pockets, right? Using their brand, right? And they're talking about the culture, they're talking about hip hop music, right? But that's just the 2025 economics of hip hop that dictates that you have another way to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
And this
So that's
podcast
kind of
is
why.
like, I think this generation figured out how to, well, they had the opportunity and the avenues to go directly to their customers or to their fans.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Starting with like the Wiz Khalifa and all them, they went directly to their fans. So when they came
Correct.
to podcasting, it was kind of easy because your fans are already interested in more than just your music. So
Right.
podcasting, like now you can just sit there and just talk about shit. Well, back in the day, if you saw the music podcast, you probably had to talk about music. But most times that's not where they tuned in for. They came in for this particular person. And that was,
Right, just for you. Yeah, and I think that Joe Budden is absolutely the shining example as to how you do this, and he's really probably put in the most work than anybody else when you consider the fact that you may not know this, that Joe Budden was hosting radio on Hot 97 way back before. Maybe I want to say it was after his first album, but like he was still very much an artist at this point. And
also doing all the music and all that. He was hosting. He's on the radio.
He wasn't like the prime guy on the show, but he was absolutely on morning radio on Hot 97 for like a brief little run.
Okay.
And I think it became clear then pretty early on that he was really good at it. I was like, holy shit, this dude's actually, I was like, this is interesting, you know, and I was young, so it's not like I had the foresight or whatever, but I remember hearing him and being like, yo, he's kind of good on radio. Like,
I mean, because it go back to the type of music he was putting out where he was putting out more of his feelings anyway. So
it was before mood music. This is before mood music. But yes, I agree.
But even like, I think his style allowed music to flourish the way it did. Because like you were like, oh, he talks. It's kind of cool that somebody actually talks about what's really going on in their life. That's dope. I'll check in for that. You know what I mean? So music flourished, and then when it's time for him to so what happened? So what happened first? The podcasting or the never mind. I'm about to the podcast or the reality shows, but I don't really care about that much.
The reality shows came first.
Okay.
So the reality shows came first, Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
And then ironically, Rosenberg put on Joe Budden. The very first Joe Budden podcasts were on Rosenberg Radio, whatever he was calling it at the moment. And, you know, he basically locked in with him. Like, I don't know if it wasn't I don't know if it was Rosenberg's idea or whatever. But I know Rosenberg will say it still to this day that he was like, I had a choice to lock in with either Nori or Joe Budden, and I chose Joe Budden. And technically he made the right choice, but he made the wrong choice, right? Because Joe Budden is a bridge burner, you know, he'll burn, you know, and he's done that with multiple people. But obviously he was onto something, but putting Joe Budden in front of a microphone. And so he dropped Rosenberg pretty quickly. Thereafter, Rory and Mal weren't even on the show at that point. They got Rory and Mal on the show shortly thereafter with a girl named Marissa Mendez. And then he dropped Marissa Mendez, and it was another chick. And then obviously Rory, Mal, and Parks rocked out for a good minute. Then he drops Rory and Mal, and then Ice and the other dudes come on, and so on and so forth. But you know, I think it's really, really dope the way that hip hop music evolves, and the way that these artists essentially take advantage of their opportunities. You know, these dudes are hustlers and they talk into a microphone for a living. So whether it's rapping or speaking or whatever it is, and I personally feel like nobody sort of embodies that more than Cameron. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is why I wanted, you said, what do you want to talk about? I was like, I could talk about Cameron for an hour. This dude is fascinating to me because he almost doesn't even care about music anymore. And it's been a minute that you could tell that he doesn't really care. Like Cameron been nice. Cameron been nice since 357. If Cameron wants to lock in.
But back then, it seemed like he didn't care though. Like he was like a nigga that just happened to be nice.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like
you see him in videos back then. He had a lot of energy. He had a lot of, you know, like when you saw like the Let Me Know video, like he was like he always very animated, you know what I'm saying? And then the Horse and Carriage remix video, real animated, real extra, real taking the shirt off and bugging the fuck out, you know, whatever. And now he's just like the opposite or whatever. Cameron is just a real get money dude, you know, and
All
I think, yeah, exactly, right. And I think that it should be studied the way that he is turned. He is essentially like a mogul now. You know what I'm saying? Like for him, for him to capitalize on the attention of him and Mace, reigniting their friendship and then doing a podcast.
Oh wow!
And monetizing it the way that they right because
I
they
didn't
weren't.
even think about. Yeah, I didn't even think about. That's kind of how it happened. You heard about them being cool within the podcast.
People were interested in it because it was them too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They like Nas and Jay squashing the beef, you know, and it being a thing. Them squashing their beef, inspired by $1 million worth of game. Them squashing their beef, turning it into a money opportunity, monetizing it. Right? They spent their own money, right, to do the show. They got their first deal. You know, that I don't know how much it was for. You know, I might quote some numbers, but I know I don't know them. The first deal might have been like $8 or $10 million or something like that. And then they read up with this was with Underdog Fantasy, and then the next deal ends up being like $40 million or something like that. And like they've run this shit up crazy. And then he remixes the It Is What It Is show, and now he does Talk with Flea. Right. And they're putting this shit straight to the fans. So it goes straight to YouTube, you know, and YouTube is really the backdrop of all this because YouTube is how you can monetize your shit and take control of your own brand because you don't need broadcasting permission to just post shit on YouTube. And then Revolt picks up Talk with Flea, right? So he gets paid for that. So now Talk with Flea is on Revolt. That's his own separate show where he's just talking himself. And like, even though him and Dame Dash, the reason why he's at the top of my mind is because him and Dame Dash have all this beef. Have you been keeping track of this shit? I haven't been keeping track of it, but you've been seeing it?
No, it's funny because when you said something about this, I just scrolled across the him and Adrian Broner situation.
Right.
That's why I was laughing at. I didn't know whether that had, because I mean, when I think of Dame right now, I'm just thinking about the whole Breakfast Club interview, which is a conversation in itself because Because sadly enough, is a lot of gems and jewels that's gonna go missing because we're clowning this nigga. Like it's simple as that. Like he
was clowning himself, and he was clowning himself.
But frankly, in the meantime, he's dropping gems that we're going to ignore because nigga, you sound to look stupid right now, and that's sad, but it is what it is.
He's doing it to himself, and like the fact I said it in somebody's comments today on a post. People are always gonna suck off a wealthy black man. You're always gonna have other black men that are willing to suck off another wealthy black man, regardless of what he does or doesn't do. Like, it's like we can't, it's like if we criticize our own community, like rightfully so, you're seen as like a hater that's bringing down a black man, which is not true. I think we all have a right to be critical of each other if we feel like we're stepping in ways that's not right, you know, and I think that it's okay to criticize Dame for the missteps that he's made and the way that he's treated people. It's well documented that he mistreated people. He was almost bragging about it. And then this is what happens, you know, when you mistreat people and your relationships suffer, you know, the things that you thought were solid are not solid anymore. And his team essentially did, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's okay to give props to each other, to people in our community, but I don't think we have to be sycophants for the people in our communities either.
Was it you? I forgot who said it, but was it you that said like nobody else looks like Dame? Like nobody else from the Rockefeller tree looks like Dame. Like
I said something like that, right? Yeah,
out here looking like that.
Nobody else is out here fucked up like him. Yeah, exactly. And I don't even necessarily think he's fucked up. It just, but yeah, like you're the only one looking crazy. Like Jay's a billionaire, and Biggs is doing whatever he's doing. He's quiet with his bread, I'm sure. But I don't know. So anyway, that's him and Cam. You know, he seems to be struggling with the fact that Cam is not his little man no more. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Cam necessarily was ever his little man. But like, I remember when Mace looked into the camera and told Jay Prince, yo, we not your little niggas, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you must think we your little niggas. Ain't nobody scared of you. Like, I'm not your little nigga, bro. We the big homies now. Fuck is you, you know? Like,
what was that spat with Jay Prince?
With Jay Prince, because there was a boxer that they was talking crazy about. They talk crazy about a lot of people on the It Is What It Is show. Yeah, exactly. And it's barbershop talk essentially. And somebody took it the wrong way, a boxer, and the boxer is in, Jay Prince's orbit in some kind of way. And I think Jay Prince tried to be like, yo, like watch it when you're speaking on my people. And Mace was like, fuck you. Like, Mace and Cameron both, they get up there and they just laugh for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey, you hit that like button yet? You subscribe to the channel, right? Cool. And drop a comment before you slide out. Now, time about.
They get up there and they just are like, we made it. We're making $40 million a year to sit up here and laugh at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm getting paid to hang with my nigga. I'm getting paid to do what I was gonna do regardless. I'm just hanging with my nigga cracking shit.
I'm just hanging with
talk about y'all, and I was gonna hang with him doing it regardless. I'm getting paid $40 million. What are we talking about, dog?
Ain't nobody in hip hop, to me, has monetized the new era of media, has navigated this landscape quite like fucking Cameron. And maybe and with the exception of Joe Budden, because Joe Budden is making some fucking scratch up there. And Joe Budden is essentially just doing whatever he feels like doing as well. He's just talking about culture. But
it all started like with Cameron laughing at Bill O'Reilly.
Essentially, right? That's when the world figured out who Cameron was, right? And when he was basically saying that he wouldn't snitch on a serial killer if he lived in his building. People realized what type of person Cameron was. And like, Cameron has a book deal. The book deal is worth 8 or 9 figures. Cameron produces movies. He does the
Cuba Gooding joint.
We're gonna get to that. You mean Omar Gooden? Omar Gooden. You know what's funny is that's how the beef started, because he called him Cuba Gooden, or he called him Cuba Gooden purely by mistake.
Yeah.
And Cameron said, like, it was a mistake, bro. I was not trying to be like that. I don't even know who you are. Like, and I'm not saying I don't know who you are to diss you. It was an accident. And it's like, this dude Omar Gooden is actually a decent rapper. Like, he's okay. He's pretty good. But it's like, but you don't understand 2025. People stopped caring about bars 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Cameron has known that for however long. Cameron stopped caring about bars. Cameron used to have 2-3 minute freestyles. Cameron still has freestyles on his show where he shows you how barred up he. His freestyles are nice. When he comes up there and he's brushing his waves, he's about to give you, 100 bars of something, But it's like, you've missed the point. If you're trying to rap with Cameron, he doesn't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, and so the thing with Dame, it's like, you think that you're beefing with him. Like, I think Dame went on somebody, Dame is obviously getting checks by going on all these podcasts, and he seems to be talking about Cam everywhere he goes. And it's like, you're just giving Cameron something to talk about on his show. And ultimately, people are tuning in just to watch whatever axe to grind Cameron has today, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it really is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? To watch him, that shit that he did with Omar Gooden, bro, that he paid the movie to cast him in it. And Omar Gooden had the nerve to like make another rap song. It's like, yo, dog, I don't think you understand what just happened here, dog. He paid you. Do you understand? You're his employee for like $3,000.
Yeah.
For like $3,000, yo.
And it's funny because it's so fucked up, because I forgot what podcast. In the conversation with Damian Lemon and Ali Muhammad. Ali Muhammad, he does he's in the videography, so he knows a lot about movies and roles and stuff like that. So he was saying the thing about it is like, Omar Gooden can't really go out there and ask for more than $3,000 now. Like, his selling price dropped because of this situation. Like, Cam put his info on like that, so that's a whole other blow that Cam probably knew about that the average person don't know about. Like, I'm messing you up in so many different ways, and it's just 3 stacks to me, dog. Like, it's just.
And they acquired the rights to Paid in Full. Him and 50.
And it's funny
So
because I was like, man, I ain't got time to see another. I'm good on these. Like, give me a Manson movie, dog. I'm tired of drug movies. But
right.
it's so much that you can dig into from that. So I am interested to see
Yeah.
what you can do with that.
And it's almost, he didn't even say it, or he didn't even have to say how petty that is, because I assumed that Dame had something to do with owning the rights to that movie, because Paid in Full is his movie. So you gotta assume
This shit blew
You
over my
gotta
head just now.
assume that 50 and Cam got together and said, the two pettiest motherfuckers in hip hop got together and said, we're just gonna little bro this dude and bully him and take his shit and cut him out of it and make a whole bunch of millions. And you know what I mean? That this dude, Cameron, has sold male enhancement products. He still sells the pink horsepower shit. Scissor, which is a fake Alizé, $300 Dipset jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Like soft core porn movies with him, right? The fake I Got the Hookup with Killer Season, right? Like there's no hustler out here that hustles like this dude. And he's landed on podcasting, which I swear people will be listening to Cameron podcasting forever. Like he is absolutely hilarious until he just decides to do something else. You know what I mean? So, but the beauty of it to me and why I think it's relevant and why I wanted to talk about it was just because this is important for hip hop artists to have platforms that they own. You know what I'm saying? That they can monetize, that they can get away from these record labels, because again, record labels are not record labels anymore. Spotify and Apple and Tidal have essentially decentralized the music industry and have made it a tech thing with algorithms and shit like that. So, they're taking, and it's sad because we still want the music to be the music. We talk about rap on this show. This is a rap show. We talk about music. But ultimately, these musicians have to be able to survive. They have to be able to thrive, and they have to be able to profit off of their own brands. And if they're taking away something off the chessboard, I think it's just really, really dope. And it makes me really happy to see that our favorite artists have figured out another way to monetize their brands. You know what I'm saying? And to do so directly with these corporations to get their branding deals. They do commercials, they have deals with fantasy football companies or directly with the podcasting networks. Like I think it's iHeart that has the deal with Drink Champs. It was CBS before that. Nori is getting fucking paid. Like Nori and EFN, they're getting paid for that show. So just respect to all of them. I know there's a whole lot of podcasts and everybody feels like inundated with them, but it's just really important that our icons, our legends, and our artists have additional ways to get paid, because the art is the art, and you do it for the love, and all of that is important. But at the end of the day, if you can't feed your families, then shit is not viable, and then we can't have the things that we enjoy. You know what I mean?
I like that. Really put a bow on it, man. We're dropping early, but anything you anticipate in the morning?
Shit, man. I don't even be knowing.
Is Cardi dropping in the morning?
Bro, I just need her to drop that shit so we can stop paying attention to her, man. Like,
so bad.
I'm so
bad.
She's just annoying to me.
It's not going.
And then when you see the track list from the album, she has wet ass pussy on there. Like, it's like, fam, like that song, like that song is 3 years old. You know what I mean? Like she got the rollout for this. Like she's announcing that she has a baby, and Imaginary Players was whack, and this on up and it's up and it's up. That song's been out for years. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna say that this album is platinum or gold or whatever because these songs have been streaming for years. Like Cardi, she's just not a rapper to me. Like the rollout to me is everything except music. I'm done with it. I don't know when it comes out. I just need it to.
It drops in the morning. Nothing else comes out.
Great.
That drops in the morning. Young
Let's
Thug drops. We're not checking for that. Locksmith, he dropped something a couple of days on Tuesday. I'll probably check for that.
Currency
Doja-
dropped something. Currency dropped
yeah.
He's been. We
Well, I
haven't
ain't
talked
gonna
about
hold
it.
you.
He's
I
got
ain't gonna-
3.
Currency.
I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, cool. I ain't gotta say
It's
it.
getting a little dry.
It's
getting a little dry.
Doja drop next week though.
Yo, man, I have a feeling her album's gonna be really dope.
I'm in for
because that what is it called? Jealous Type, that record.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced that shit. You know what I mean? That shit is straight out of the Janet Jackson. It just, and you know the thing about Jealous Type, man, nobody could have made that record except her.
Yeah.
To spit like that, and then she has a part where she ad-libs and she sings in there at the end. It's like, yo, man, this girl's talent level, like, this shit is, she's out of here. And like one of my homegirls, she was like, yo, I thought we was done with Doja Cat. I was like, I know. Like, I don't know what am I supposed to do? I know, man. She done did it, man.
Yeah, man. That's what it is, man. We'll rap. We'll talk.
Yo, man, talking about rap.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Let me hear it. Make sure.
I ain't come here to loot, no way you didn't come to shoot. If you coming for the truth, you won't get it from the news. Gotta watch who you follow.
They told you as a team.
Gotta watch who you follow.
You scrolling on that screen.
I'm a soldier, fuck a dream. Stop selling me that scene. Built up anger, how the hell am I not green? Smoking hella pot, I scheme. Some shit takes too long. Way down, who am I to say you wrong? So burn this bitch down, burn it the fuck up. I look at the rich now, they been yelling fuck us. Fuck them, fuck the system, and fuck you. If your fist ain't up, I can't trust you.